Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel. So today is week 2. I had to think about that. Week 2 of Fintastic Follies, which is an event running in the Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors Facebook group. And yeah, it's all about there's a new set of digitals every week, and it's all about using those digitals and creating a textured page for your junk journals. So this is week 2. There is plenty of time to catch up. I will put all of the information in the description box below, but as I said, there is time to catch up, and there is freebies each week in the Facebook group. So there's 3 weeks, and then there is a week to play catch up, if that is something that you need. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be playing with a few different bits and pieces. Just looking and getting some stamps and stencils and bits and bobs. And I think I'll go with that one there. So I'm going to play with some textures. It's probably going to turn out quite similar to what we did last time. But I am going to use a few different forms of medium. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got... sorry, I'm still picking things up, deciding what I'm going to use, because I was going to just wing it. I think I'm going to use this one here for the fish, and I'm going to go with some Distress Texture paste, but this is the translucent one. So we'll have a little play with this. Just get a little thingamybobby out, ready to, because I don't have a thing of water with me, so I can pop my stencil straight on there. So we're going to go with some of this. I haven't used this one before, but I've seen the effect of it, and I do love the effect. So I'm just going to go over the fish, and I'm going to go over all of the fish, because the bits in between will allow me to not have too much on each fish, if you know what I mean. So there'll still be a bit of a break in between the effect. Now I don't really want to, I probably put these too close together. I did that on purpose, thinking, oh, it'll take less room, but didn't take into account the stencil and how that was going to affect what I was doing. So far it's okay. Just these 2 left to do. So I'll have one there and one there. So that is the texture paste. And as I said, this one's translucent. So I'm going to put that to one side and let that dry. but you can see the effect there. And as I said, I'm just going to let that dry now. Try and dry naturally because it is quite warm. And this is my backing page that I've decided to use. Now, I want to use, I'm probably going to stick with the texture paste I've just been using. And I'm going to go with these bubbly, or big bubbly things, because it does look quite like it could be the sea. I have no idea where this stamp is from, but that whole thing looks like it could be a sea scene, which is quite cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 lots of texture paste on here. I'm going to put a bit here, and I'm going to put a bit here. And I'm going to, I really don't like these spritzes. I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't like them. But I don't want to not use them. So I'm going to, and because they're spritzes, they're quite translucent as well. So I'm going to, better, mix a little bit of this with the textured paste. I have no idea how this is going to work, what's going to happen, whether it'll even work, but that's what I'm doing. And exactly the same with this one. Going to mix a little bit of that. They are supposed to be 2 different colours, but they do look quite similar. So, yeah, the idea is it might give a bit of a shimmer to the translucent texture paste. We'll see. They're very similar in colour. One's a little bit darker. Like I said, I don't even know if these 2 mediums mix or not. So I am just going to put a bit here and a bit there. And then a bit of this colour. And I'm just covering really the middle section of this paper because that's where the lighter colour is, there's no real, I can't talk and do something at the same time anymore. I don't know what it is with me. I think it's that time of life. But I can't seem to do it. So, yeah, so I'm going to mix the colours up and I'm just going to go for the central piece of the paper because that is where the lighter colour is. And there you can see that I've just covered that bit. I'm going to leave you a moment and let that dry. Okay, so this has dried a little bit. My fish is still drying and my stencils are cleaned. Can you believe I've cleaned my stencils? And what I'm going to use now is I bought these flowers. I think, I want to say it was literally just a cheap purchase, something like Temu or Shein or AliExpress, one of those. And these flowers are brilliant colour-wise for this. So I thought they're going to go perfectly and add some dimension to the bottom of this little what you want to call it, this little collage, if you like. So I'm going to pop these on, and then I'm going to take a little bit of time to let everything dry. So pop that there. It probably would be better actually something like Fabri-Tac for this. I think I'm going to try that instead. And I'm literally just going to dot these around in clusters. So I'm not going to have them all over the bottom. I'm just going to have them in clusters. Oops, 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 oops. I would use tweezers, except I have no idea where they are. Bit of flour came off with that one. Oh, this stuff is like spider's webs. Well, I said I wasn't going to put it all along the bottom, but I think I may as well now. I would definitely buy these again. And just one more little one there. And we'll pop that one there. So we've got some fish to go, but that gives us some different kind of effect. I might take the bottom of that off, or I might want to add a few bits and pieces to the bottom, just where these sticks aren't quite there. But yeah, the translucent stuff seems to be doing well with the spritz, which is surprising, rather. Bit of a shocker. And the fish are drying quite nicely, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave everything now until it's fully dried, and then I will come back and finish off. Okay, so I'm filming this bit separately because I have no idea whether it's going to work or not. Yeah, no idea whatsoever whether this is going to work. So I'm going to film it separately. If it does work, great. If it doesn't work, then I won't put it in the video. So I've got some chocolate wrapper, which I'm just popping on here, and it's crinkled, which is all good. I then have some of the little little jump rings. I think gold would have been a better colour. I'm waiting for everything to dry, which is why I don't have enough in the gold, I don't think, but it's definitely a better match. I suppose I wouldn't have to do all of them. No, I'm not going to have enough. There's a bright gold one. It's a bit too gold. It's another one. Oh, it's another one. And then I suppose I could just do it for some of them. I know you have no idea what I'm talking about at the moment, because I was waiting for things to dry. I was thinking about the fish eyes, about doing something that would add a little bit more texture to the fish eyes, and I thought, I wonder. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 in total. So I just need one more, and then we're good to go. Is that one? I'm sure it was. No, it's a slightly smaller one. Oh no, it's not. That's fine. Okay, so the colour goes better with the gold, and sorry for the wasted time. So I'm going to just pop these on here where I know there is glue underneath, so I know it's all going to hold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill them with some glossy accent. And again, then we're back to the whole drying process. Okay. You can buy tops for these, but I'm not sure you can get them in the UK. I've seen them on sites that do American stuff, but not in the UK ones. There we go. So I'm just gonna fill these with glossy accent, And the idea is they should then stick to the paper. That's my intention. Never tried it before, so we will see. So let's pop those there and let those dry. Everything else is drying nicely, so the papers here is drying very nicely. In fact, you can see that the even though it's picked up a little bit of colour, the translucentness is very cool, and it has got a slight shimmer to it. Don't know how much of that you can see, but I really do like that. So yeah, pleased with that. Fish are pretty much dry now, so let's just cut these into more manageable pieces. The blue is alcohol ink because I was thinking of using that to create some bubbles from the fish's mouths. But you can't control it enough, or I can't control it enough to be able to do that. So I had to think twice about it, and came up with a nope, not going to happen. I don't know why I always choose things that are not the easiest to fussy cut. Anyway, I'm not going to make you watch this painful process. So again, I will come back once I have fussy cut the fish, and hopefully everything else will be dry. Excuse me. Okay, so I did these. I did try a little bit of alcohol ink. I was determined to get that in somewhere, but it just didn't go. And they dried really well. But before they finished drying, I added a little bead in the middle, just because, and that's one of these little things, that literally tiny little beads. And I added one of those in the middle because it looked more like an eye. And then I stuck that on my fish, and it looks like a quirky little eye. Well, the fish are well quirky anyway, so I was really chuffed with how that looked. So the fish, I don't know how much you can see of the texture. There you go, you can see that better there. Absolutely loved how that looks. It looks like scales. So I was really chuffed with how that looked. Sorry, just opening the back door because it's absolutely boiling. And as I said, I popped one of the eyes on there, and it does look really, really quite funky. So I'm going to pop the rest of the eyes on now that they're dry. And I did a couple of smaller ones, just because the big ones would have looked absolutely ridiculous on the smaller fish. So I did a couple of smaller ones. I think I've missed one somewhere, or maybe not. I got another little one somewhere, I must have then. I think I've done one little one too few. I thought I'd done 3 of the little ones. It could be that I've done it. Oh, yep, there it is. And I just didn't cut it out. So, and that's all I did with these, was just cut them out and they cut really well, and I really like how they came out, which was really funky. Okay, so 2 more little ones, one there and one there. I found my tweezers as well. So they're my fish, and I really do like how they've come out. They are so cool. Like I said, the translucent powder, translucent paste looks like scales, especially with the stencil I used. So yeah, loving that. And now it's just a case of popping them on to my collage. So this has dried really well, and I'm just going to pop my fish on here. I'm debating what glue to use. I will go with this, I think. When I did them last week, I raised some of them, but I wasn't that chuffed afterwards. So I'm going to pop these on just as they are. So we'll go with the big ones first. I liked how the fish turned out last week. They were pretty cool, very rusty looking, but these I absolutely love. These I don't even know, can't decide where to pop these though. I don't know whether I put more of these in than the fish I used last week either. I can't remember. And then the little ones, I'm going down a little bit, and then we'll have one in the bottom portion down with the weeds, not weeds, but you know, the equivalent of weeds. And I was going to do some bubbles, but I don't think I need to do any bubbles. I think that's pretty cool as it is. I don't know how much of that you can see, but I'm hoping you can pick up the, yeah, you can pick that up from there. So yeah, really pleased with that. And I loved how these came out. And with the little thingy in the middle, it just looks super cool, I think. I use the thingy a lot, don't I? With the bead, I mean, in the middle. I think it looks super, super cool. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with in your textured play for week 2. I'll leave it there. As always, stay safe, be well, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.